What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to try to quickly cover some of the comments and what's going on with the Kyrie Irving situation. So here's my take regarding the situation with Kyrie Irving and everything he said about not wanting to play in Orlando. Kyrie Irving has some valid points, specifically things based around the players wanting to feel like they're safe there and wanting to feel like if they're there for a certain amount of time, how are they going to be protected, etc. Now, there's a couple of issues I have, some with Kyrie and some with some of the players that are protesting against this. So for one, let's talk about Kyrie Irving. I do not trust Kyrie Irving for ish. I don't think Kyrie Irving is trustworthy. I genuinely do not think his heart is in the right place. I feel like Kyrie is just doing this for attention. Here's my problem that I have with Kyrie. He has proven over and over to sort of be a brat and be extremely selfish and has behaved in such a manner. Whether it was things that happened in Cleveland or things that happened in Boston or things that were happening with the Nets in Brooklyn before the injury, before the season was over. Kyrie Irving thinks he's the smartest person in the room wherever he's at. He thinks he's more intelligent than he is, and he is extremely stubborn, does not like to listen. Those are not qualities of a leader. So those are some of the reasons I just don't trust Kyrie in this matter. I am not sure if Kyrie is doing this for the right reasons, and for that reason, I just feel like he is the wrong person to represent the players on this matter. That doesn't mean some of the things that he's saying is wrong. I just feel like he's the wrong person to say it, because it's one of those situations where it's like, do as I say, not as I do. For example, LeBron James, on the other hand, who is asking to play and wants to resume basketball operations, has been very vocal in all these social injustices, has set up a school to get kids to get educated and help them get through college by paying for their tuition, and just recently got involved in a group to help with voter suppression because what was happening across the country and some of the lines for voting that we were seeing. That is a scenario of someone who just wants to play basketball, but also use his platform to speak out and is actually doing things. What has Kyrie Irving done about social injustices or anything COVID related until now? It just seems like he wants attention. Why aren't you out there protesting like Malcolm Brogdon or Jaylen Brown or even Enes Kanter or even taking a bike ride like LeBron did with J.R. Smith, etc.? You are not doing any of that. All we're hearing is from Kyrie in his comfortable home talking about the issues that he has with the bubble in Orlando. And again, some of the things he's saying is correct, but I just don't think you're the right person to do it. I would rather hear from Chris Paul because he's someone that has shown to care about these things and someone who is actually intelligent and actually cares about these things. So with regards to the concerns about the bubble, I agree with Kyrie Irving. Where I don't agree with him is the tone that he's taken and how he's saying certain things, talking about the NBA like it's some racist establishment. Now, let's get this straight. There's sort of three parts to the NBA. The NBA Association itself, then there's the players, and then there's the owners. Now, with regards to the owners, they are not speaking up enough, and these are the rich billionaire types of white men that might be a part of the problem that we're experiencing. We saw what happened with Donald Sterling, the owner of the Clippers, before he was forced out of the NBA, and there might be other owners who feel this way. So that portion of it I understand, but the other portion really upsets me because you have an NBA commissioner who is part of the LGBT community and is someone who is sensitive to these types of issues. If you've paid attention, you've seen that not only did he care about the players and said that he wasn't going to resume until he felt like it was safe, he actually cared about the nation and people who might be in a position to not be able to get tested. And so he delayed wanting to start the NBA until he felt like everyone had an opportunity to get tested because he didn't want the NBA to seem like it was some rich establishment that was taking resources away from the country. This man is sensitive to issues like this and he cares. So you need to be careful of how you talk about the NBA being some sort of racist establishment when you have different parts to it. There's also the Players Association, which you are a part of and who represents the players. You guys had meetings with the NBA and agreed upon all these things. You also had players who were complaining about not getting checks. And it's crazy that some of these guys actually live check to check. I guess I can understand because they have to take care of their families and they pay close to like 50% in taxes. So some of these guys making like, let's say $2 million a year really aren't that well off, even though they're better than most of us. So the idea that Kyrie Irving is leading some of these guys that they should not play when he makes, I don't know, what does Kyrie Irving make? Something like maybe $30 million a year compared to these guys who make less, and saying that they don't need to play. He's speaking for them in a way, and even if they're agreeing with him, they might not see the whole picture. Kyrie Irving can retire today and be fine. The other issue I have is with some of the players. These same guys that were complaining about not receiving checks now want to complain and have an issue, and it's also the players who don't necessarily have a chance to win. So it has become a thing against the players that have a chance to win versus those who don't. And I just don't think that's a bit fair, because it seems like it's not genuine. It's almost like you don't want to play because you don't have a reason to play. And if that's the case, then talk to the NBA and try to figure out a way in which players are excused from playing in the NBA if either they feel like it's not worth the risk or if they want to be out protesting. That's how you should go about it. But to try to stop the NBA from resuming when the players asked Adam Silver to do this, and that man spent weeks on weeks on weeks of meeting with people, trying to figure out logistics to start the NBA because the players were asking for it, is just ridiculous. The last aspect to this is the financials. Now, the NBA signed a contract with the TV networks, so if the players truly do not want to play, they need to consider what happens with their salary and not complain about potentially not getting paid for the rest of the season and maybe even losing money from their contracts moving forward. That is something that I'm not sure these players are willing to do, even though they're actually talking a good game. Now, let me sum this up by saying that I agree with the notion that potentially the NBA might take attention away, even though it's not set to start until late June. So there might be a lot of things that happen in between then and now, so that basketball actually resumes when everything is sort of settled down. And by settled down, I mean people are no longer protesting. It would be crazy if a month from now people are still protesting. Now that would be interesting to see. But yeah, there's a lot of pieces here that need to be considered. And again, I agree with some of the things that Kyrie's saying. I just don't know if it's genuine. It might be coming from someone else. And I don't think he's the person to represent the players, because I don't trust what he's saying and I don't believe it's genuine. So that's my piece on Kyrie Irving. Take it or leave it. If I've upset you, leave some comments in the section below. And if you agree with me, also leave some comments. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. If you are not new and you're already subscribed, please consider hitting the notification bell. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.